This past week was really busy, so let's start talking about everything that happened. Hello guys, one more time, welcome to Ring Royalty. My name is Alexis, as you already know, and this past week we had 3 premium live events. That is crazy. We need to highlight how great this past week was for women's wrestling in general. We had 6 women's matches during the weekend, and most of them were quite nice. So it's time to talk about each of them. Without anything left to say, let's start with this review. The first premium live event we had at the weekend was WWE's Clash at the Castle. The opening contest for this night was a 6-women tag team match. Damage Control facing Bianca Baszler, Asuka and Alexa Bliss. This match was advertised for weeks and the hype was there ever since SummerSlam 2022, that you can watch my review over here if you haven't. So there was a lot of buzz and a lot of expectations for this match to be great, and it actually delivered. Thankfully it did. And I was delighted to see that all the girls there had enough time to showcase everything that they could do. We had some tag team moments as well as individual moments. Something that I have to highlight from Clash of the Castle is the fact that the UK crowd was outstanding. They were cheering throughout the whole match and giving this electrifying feel to each of the things happening in the ring. That is something that US crowds lack sometimes, so US, you better get your shit together. Before talking about the match itself, I want to point out that Damage Control has a new theme song, and I'm not really sure how I'll feel about it, because it's kind of like Bailey's song remixed with some rap and stuff, and I don't know, I just don't get it. But maybe it's one of those songs that you need to listen many times before you can actually groove to it. So we will see, maybe it will grow on me. From the get-go, you could tell this match was going to be a banger just by the reactions from the crowd and obviously seeing on paper who were the people involved. It was so funny to me how the crowd in the UK was chanting and singing Bailey's former theme song when she was a babyface. Whoa, will you be my girl? Bailey was so happy with it, but she had to pretend like she wasn't because she's the heel. She was trying to shut them up and she had no idea what to do because the crowd wouldn't shut up. That was such a nice moment. Overall, I think there were spots for everyone in this match to shine, but some of my favorites were when Dakota blasted Alexa Bliss against the barricade outside the ring. That was great. The triple suplex spot was also very nice. Bianca Belair's military press never ceases to amaze me. Her display is just unreal. Bianca is just a star. I mean, we cannot deny that at this point in her career. The exchanges between Asuka and Io were one of my highlights for sure. Every time these two got to interact in the ring, it was pure gold. There were so many nice spots. The double suplex with Alexa and Asuka destroying Bailey's back, that was also nice. And throughout this whole match, we saw how Bailey, who is the leader of Damage Control, was actually leading and helping the girls to realize where they were supposed to be during certain spots. I don't know if you noticed that, but I found that cute. Damage Control definitely had a game plan for this match, and the teamwork itself was fantastic. From tag team maneuvers to just cutting the ring in half or doing these blind tags where the babyface wouldn't really notice that another person was legal, and it helped to provide something fresh to this match. As for Bianca, Alexa and Asuka, all of them are fantastic individuals. I'm not sure if anybody is buying this tag team shit because we all know that they are not a tag team, but at least it was nice that we could showcase 6 women from the Raw Women's division. The last minute of this match was cute. Dakota almost fucked it up, but glad she didn't. Dakota kicked Bianca Belair's face, then we got Bailey hitting the Rose Plan and follow up by Io's over the moonsault for Bailey, the legal competitor from the team, to pin the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair for the 1-2-3. And that is the only outcome that I could see from this match, so I am super happy that it was actually what happened at the Premium Live event. After Dakota and Io lost the tag team title match on Raw, there was no way that Damage Control was losing this Premium Live event match, so I am happy they're staying strong and as a threat, especially now that Bianca was defeated by Bailey. Therefore, Bayley is officially, I guess, the #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship. After weeks of building this tag team rivalry, it is definitely time to have a Raw Women's Championship match and a rivalry for the singles title. Personally, I was really hoping for either Asuka or Alexa to turn on Bianca so we could have another possible challenger for the future. I wasn't sure how we were both trying to become Raw Women's Champion just a couple weeks before Damage Control debuted, and then suddenly all the baby faces got together and got along without any type of interest in the championship anymore. Anyway, let's sum these matches a very fun one and something that did live up to the hype. They all deliver. It was very entertaining to see, very fast paced with many different spots, everybody shown, so I have no complaints about it. So I'm really looking forward to see the match between Bayley and Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship, and I am also really glad that Dakota and Nia are probably getting a rematch after that screwjob on Monday Night Raw. The only question that is left here is what's gonna happen with Alexa and Asuka now. Are they gonna turn heel? Are they gonna feud against each other? Are they remaining as a tag team? Only time will tell. But so far we're doing great. This opening contest was fantastic. Chef's kiss. The second and final women's match of Clash of the Castle was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan defending her title against Shayna Baszler. This match was unpredictable because there was a lot of hype for Shayna Baszler after Triple H regained control of the creative area of WWE. He is very high on Shayna. Shayna has been looking dominant the last editions of SmackDown, and that together with Liv Morgan's underdog persona actually made the outcome of this match not predictable at all. Some spots that I remember clearly are first Liv Morgan trying to steal the Kirifuda clutch in the early going, and Shayna was like, what is this girl trying to do? Does she think this slim arm is gonna choke me? I found that hilarious, like Shayna Baszler was not bothered. Another one was Shayna Baszler kicking the hell out of Liv Morgan's face while she was on the rope, and Liv Morgan looking like a cadaver after it. She's such a great seller, and Shayna looking as vicious as her NXT days was fantastic. I think that's the highlight of this match for me. We could clearly see shades of NXT Shayna Baszler in this match, the dominant beast that couldn't be tamed by anyone, and that's the Shayna that is best for business. This match was also super spotty, but there were so many creative spots that got me on the edge of my seat, and once again they added to this unpredictability of the ending, of the outcome. There were so many moments where it looked like Liv was going to retain and some others where Shayna was going to win the title. For example, Shayna's knee strike in mid-air catching Liv Morgan off guard looked devastating. It could have been a false ending there. Liv Morgan locking in the armbar? That was ludicrous. I wasn't really expecting that from Liv Morgan, but I think it made a lot of sense now that she's been wrestling MMA wrestlers like Ronda and Shayna. It was picture perfect. Like, it was definitely a great resource. Also, the turnbuckle spot where Liv Morgan hit Shayna Baszler repeatedly against it and then into a springboard powerbomb. That was fantastic as well. And then out of nowhere, when Shayna Baszler broke the pin after the powerbomb, she locked in the Kirifuda clutch, and I love that from Shayna because she can lock it in from any given angle, any given time, and it is just fantastic. I swear to God, I thought Liv Morgan was going to pass out as she was in the middle of the ring, but no, it didn't happen. The arm of Shayna was destroyed after that armbar, so Liv could get free. Thank God. It was definitely a lovely match. After a code breaker and the Oblivion, Liv Morgan remained a SmackDown Women's Champ in a very lengthy match with many different spots and very exciting. I don't really recall anyone selling the Oblivion as good as Shayna Baszler did this past weekend, so kudos to you, Shayna. Definitely for me, Clash of the Castle was a great pay-per-view for women's wrestling. Both of the matches delivered, and the outcomes definitely left me wanting more and to see what's gonna happen in both Raw and SmackDown. And that's what a premium live event should do. Deliver and keep you waiting to see what's gonna happen in the future. So kudos to Triple H and Stephanie one more time because this premium live event was top-notch. The second event we got on the weekend was NXT's Worlds Collide from WWE, and we had two women's matches there. The first one was the Unification NXT Women's Championship match, triple threat between Mandy Rose, Meiko Satomura, and Blair Davenport. For me, it was pretty obvious that Blair was included in this match just to take the pin, but I was hoping for the match to be a banger because Meiko Satomura was there and we know she's a legend in the wrestling business, and I have to say I was very disappointed actually. We've got a logical alliance between Rose and Blair against Meiko because she was the stronger competitor in this match, I completely get that. We even got women's wrestling chants from the crowd during this battle, but I don't know, something was not clicking and it wasn't a bad match. However, it didn't feel like this monumental unification match. I mean, NXT UK brand is gone, and the representative of that brand was Meiko Satomura facing Mandy Rose, who has been champion for almost a year. I expected an extravaganza of a match. This triple threat match should have been super memorable, and it wasn't. For me, the only one that got memorable spots was Meiko. She was delivering everything that she needed to, but even though she had the best spots in this match, I don't think she looked as dominant as she used to look in the NXT UK brand. Not sure why the booking of this match was more balanced. I guess they wanted Mandy Rose to feel strong as well. Blair Davenport was there having a couple hits here and there, but nothing memorable at all. What I remember the most are obviously Meiko's kicks that looked devastating. She was destroying Mandy and Blair with many different variations of kicks. That was nice. The Scorpion Rising on Blair Davenport was fantastic. I thought Meiko was going to win the match after that move actually. Just for Mandy to hit her bicycle knee on both of them, Meiko rolling out of the ring, and Blair Davenport eating the pinfall, so Mandy could become a double champion, or let's say they unify NXT Women's Champion. I am not highlighting anything else because I don't really remember much from this match. It didn't stand out to me and it was so surprising because it probably was one of the most important matches during the weekend. Maybe Mandy Rose fans will bash me for it. I don't think Mandy had a bad performance, neither did Blair or Meiko. It was just the match wasn't booked to be something that we will remember in years to come. Being completely honest, I enjoy Soy Stark against Mandy Rose a lot more than this match. At least this time Mandy did it on her own. I still didn't feel delighted by the match. It was just meh. Congratulations to Mandy Rose. She's probably going to last as the NXT Women's Champion for a whole year, and now that she unifies the title, she can solidify herself and her legacy as the best Women's Champion in NXT history. Not only in the US, but overall. The only thing I gotta say though is that I'm curious to see where Meiko and Blair would go from here, and hoping to see Mandy Rose get a credible challenger, because my problem is after defeating Meiko, or well, not defeating her because Blair was the one eating the pin, but who is left for Mandy to defeat? I'm guessing Meiko and Mandy would go on a one-on-one feud, and if that's not the plan, I have no idea what they have in store for Mandy Rose, but once again we'll have to wait and see. So far, I would say this match was just pretty standard and it was kind of forgettable. We'll probably don't talk about it in years to come, but it is what it is. And the second women's match of NXT Worlds Collide was for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Sting Ninja, Katana Chance, and Kayden Carter facing Ross, Nikki ASH, and Doudrop. You have no idea how happy I was when Nikki and Doudrop show up in NXT to challenge Katana and Kayden for the tag team titles, just because they weren't really doing anything on the main roster. They were already eliminated from the tag team tournament, so it is nice that Triple H is actually meshing all the brands when some people is needed. This was definitely a fun and entertaining match. I enjoyed this a lot more than the unification match we saw previously. There were many different spots that featured tag team maneuvers between Doudrop and Nikki. There were two particular combo moves that were fantastic to me, so I really wouldn't mind at all to see Doudrop and Nikki as a full-on tag team and as a prominent one in the women's tag team division now that we have the titles back. The champions tandem of offense is just fantastic. We know that Katana and Kayden have been a tag team for many years, so they know each other inside out. They have amazing combination of moves, and I am super happy that now that they're champions, finally after working their butts off, they can showcase all of their talent in bigger platforms like NXT Worlds Collide. There were a couple of false finishes where I thought Doudrop and Nikki were winning the tag team titles, and the challengers also dominated most of the match, but this was just a typical textbook tag team wrestling match, where the heels just cut the ring in half, destroy one of the babyfaces, and then the other gets the hot tag, so the babyface team can turn the tables and end up on top. What I didn't expect at all, and it came out of the blue, was Toxic Attraction, Gigi and JC returning to NXT out of nowhere to attack Nikki and Doudrop? I guess they want to challenge Katana and Kayden, so that's why they didn't want Doudrop and Nikki to win the titles, because they were from the main rosters. That's the only explanation I can find. I mean, I'm happy to see Toxic Attraction back, but I'm not sure why they attacked the heels in this match, being heels themselves. Bottom line, Katana and Kayden took advantage of the opportunity and defeated Doudrop with a combination of neckbreaker and 450 splash for the 1-2-3, retaining their tag team championships. Overall, this was a pretty nice match. I enjoyed that Katana and Kayden are still our tag team champions in NXT, because they deserve a long title reign after waiting so many years to get the titles on their hands. Hopefully they get a pretty decent title reign, not only lengthy but with many title defenses and feuds. A pretty decent pay-per-view. NXT Worlds Collide wasn't as incredible as Clash at the Castle, but it still gave us 2 title matches. That's important in women's wrestling. One of them better than the other, as you could probably tell by my comments. But nonetheless, there were still 2 women's matches on the card, so we have to appreciate that. The last event happened on Sunday night, and it was AEW's All Out. Once again, it had 2 women's matches featured on the card, and we will talk about them. The first one was for the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill, the undefeated champion, defended the title against Athena, the fallen goddess. I have to start talking about Jade because her entrance and look inspired on She-Hulk was fantastic. Oh my god, this woman knows how to make an entrance. Jade is super green, that is true because she's inexperienced, and everybody on social media reminds her of that on a daily basis, and that's how she gets even more creative with all her entrances and gears. First she got the green hair, and now she was green. Jade Cargill truly is a superstar. She is indeed that bitch. This is another match that had a lot of hype, but unfortunately it didn't live up to the hype at all. No, it was super short. It was shorter than expected, and it started off really well with Athena hitting an O-face on Jade Cargill out of nowhere in the first minute of the match. I was really shocked at first because I thought they were going to do a squash match, and that's how Jade Cargill would have her first loss in AEW, but the baddies Kiera Hogan and Layla Gray interfere. Athena got rid of them, thank god, because they are so annoying. Jade had some nice spots like her Samoan drop and spear. It's also super helpful for Jade that Athena is a great seller, so she can make even a slap look devastating. On that end, it was all going really well. The first 3 or 4 minutes of the match were really nice, and then out of nowhere, that was it. We saw Athena flying most of this match, and out of nowhere, one of those times she was caught by a kick from Jade, which led to the Jaded, and then 1, 2, 3, the match was over. Like, what? The ending felt really rushed. It was very abrupt. I wasn't even sure what happened. Like, I was still processing all the spots that we saw in this match because they were really good, and then out of nowhere, it was just over. Jade Cargill won her 37th match, and Athena's hype in AEW just vanished. Being real, I don't think Athena should have lost in under 6 minutes, let's say. It made no sense because they brought her in with so much hype, and for her to lose faster than most of the people that Jade has faced it in the past, it makes no sense to me. Once again, AEW showing her inconsistent booking in the women's division. This is another prime example of that. Have no idea who is going to dethrone Jade now. I don't think she needed the win, to be honest. She has been undefeated for over a year, so she could have easily taken the L, and Athena could be our new TBS Women's Champion. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. We will see what's next for Jade, who will be another challenger. Being honest, I'm not really that hopeful on the AEW women's division, but I would like to be proven wrong. I love when people prove me wrong, and I would really like AEW women's division to succeed. When it comes to this match, this wasn't it. It's something that could have been fantastic, but it was cut off halfway. And the last match to finish this review was for the AEW Interim Women's Championship. I don't know what happened with Thunder Rosa, by the way, if you know what happened, because there's a lot of drama surrounding her relinquishing the AEW Women's Championship. I'm not sure if the injury was real, it was kayfabe, so if you know something, feel free to let me know in the comments, please. We had a fatal 4-way featuring Hikaru Shida against Toni Storm, against Jamie Hayter, against Dr. Britt Baker DMD. And I gotta say, Jamie Hayter was the surprise of the night. because first of all, she got a huge pop during her entrance, and I was shocked because I've never seen people root for Jamie Hayter so hard like in this match. Chicago crowds can be unpredictable and they're proving it again. This was a very lengthy match. It was worth it though, don't get me wrong. The AEW Women's Championship match was worth watching, so if you haven't, go and check it out. There were so many great spots. All of the girls there got reactions, which made me so happy. At first, the only one that got kind of left to the side was Toni Storm, but still she got a reaction in the end. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Now let's recall some spots. First, the double submission spot was fantastic, and the way that Toni Storm tried a Black Widow and then was kicked in the face by Britt Baker, it was gold. Another nice spot was when Hikaru Shida was taken out due to being injured, kayfabe, and then she came back with 2 kendo sticks to give Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter what they were coming. Such a nice moment because everybody popped so hard when Hikaru came from the back to continue wrestling. That's what we need. I'm super happy that Rebel was out there, but this time around she wasn't a deciding factor on the outcome of the match. That was pretty nice because I'm a bit tired of tamed finishes. And her spot was really cute and really funny. It made me laugh when she received a double headbutt from Hikaru and Toni Storm. She's comedy gold. Like, Rebel should be on screen a lot more. She reminds me a bit like Billie Kay on WWE. She could be really comical if given the chance. Another fantastic moment was when Jamie Hayter grabbed Toni Storm, who was bridging after a move, to hit a tombstone pile driver. The crowd lost their shit at that point. Jamie Hayter is super talented, and I have no idea why I haven't really seen that before. Maybe because she was just one of Britt Baker's goons. But this match was definitely made for Jamie Hayter to be a star, and she delivered with flying colors. After Red Cord Lariat, it looked like Jamie Hayter was going to become the new AEW Women's Champion. The crowd was on the edge of their seat, but I don't know where Britt Baker, who is her ally and have been teaming up with her the whole match, pulls the referee out of the ring, interrupting the count. And this is the moment when they started teasing Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter's breakup again, and this was done cleverly. It's like they planted the seed. They never hate each other, but at the same time the animosity was there. Also, Britt Baker covering Jamie Hayter after she received Toni Storm's pile driver was clever as hell because Britt Baker didn't do the job. She just wanted to pin her friend. Jamie obviously kicked out, something that obviously didn't make the doctor happy, but it wouldn't matter because after a few seconds we will have Toni Storm, the rock and roll icon, as our new AEW interim women's champion. Toni Storm definitely deserved this title, and I am so happy that the crowd reacted when she won the title because she was probably the one with the least amount of cheers at the start of this matchup, but it didn't matter by the end because as a champion raising the title above her head, everybody was clapping for her. Super happy for Toni, really looking forward to see Britt against Jamie, and hopefully Hikaru Shida doesn't disappear for 5 more months and can be booked consistently in AEW TV. But we'll have to wait and see for that as well. So I would say I was very pleased with one of the matches here, like the AEW Women's Championship match definitely delivered. I am so happy to see that there were 4 women on Spotlight and all of them really got great reception from the crowd. So unfortunate that didn't happen with the TBS division, and Athena and Jade didn't really have enough time to showcase all of their abilities and have a blown out match, considering this is the most important event of AEW. However, like I always say, not everything can be perfect. So I'm pretty satisfied with all the weekend overall. It was a good weekend for women's wrestling for sure. Alright, so these were my reviews for WWE's Clash of the Castle, NXT TakeOver Worlds Collide, and AEW's All Out. Tell me, when was the last time we had 3 premium live events in one weekend? Because I can't remember. This was definitely a fantastic week for being a women's wrestling fan, and most of the matches delivered. Listen to me, the keyword is most of them. As always, let me know your opinion about each of the matches down in the comments, and also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, so it gives me some motivation to continue making content. The next couple months in women's wrestling are looking really bright, so hopefully they don't disappoint. My name is Alexis, as you already know. Here is my Instagram if you want to contact me or anything, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!